Okay, thank you for coming, big dog.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, welcome everybody to another episode of Kicking It with my homeboy Dodger here at the Eyekon TV YouTube channel. We're live here at the Wrecking Spot with the homie Young Scar. Make sure to give us a follow over at Kicking It with Pod. Make sure to go over and follow the Wrecking Spot, Eyekon TV, and all that other good stuff. But we're here with the homie from the 805, who probably, if I could describe, has one of the most unique voices in the up and coming right now. There's nobody that sounds like him, especially for a young Latino man. And I think that it's something that needs to be highlighted, especially from the area he comes from. It's a very historical place. And we're going to get into some of that shit, but you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, my boy?
Yeah. They call me Young Scar. I'm a rapper, and man, coming out of Oxnard. My label is GME, Good Money Entertainment. And stay tuned.
So my boy, you're from the 805, right? You're from the great city of Oxnard. Shout out to the OX, right?
Yeah.
Can you, so before I get into you, I think we need to talk a little bit about the history of your city, because a lot of people don't know that that's probably one of the most that's one of the oldest cities in California. On top of it has so much history. Now I know like the neighborhoods over there, they all have the ending of Chiques, right? A lot of the Oxnard hoods, right? So do you know the history on why the neighborhoods are called Chiques, or can you give a little explanation on the term Chiques?
So pretty much Chiques is a nickname for the city of Oxnard, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that nickname is pretty much originated from another nickname for the city, which is Little Chicago. Little Chicago, the term Little Chicago came from back in the days when Al Capone, because he used to run through the import, bootleg and all that shit, which is documented. That's his history, all documented. And so he used to go to Oxnard because
My boy, tighten the mic a little bit.
Yeah, he used to go to Oxnard because Oxnard had a port, and so he used to always be over there regularly. And I guess when he went to the city, he used to look around and trip out. He'd be like a little Chicago, you know what I mean? So just stuck with the city, and we kept it as a nickname. You know what I mean, Little Chicago.
Yeah.
And then from Little Chicago, it went to Chiques and all the hoods that are in the city. You know what I mean, we use that. You know what I mean.
No, and I think that's crazy, especially because it's like a port city, and the fact that like it was fashioned Little Chicago is funny because it almost, not to say it highlights it, but it's almost like it goes hand in hand with the griminess, because the port city and all the to be going on in the port cities, because I'm from I'm an East Side baby too, so I'm from Boyle Heights, so it's always the ports and the train track cities.
Yeah.
And I'm a project baby, bro, so we have nothing but train tracks, and you know what I'm saying. So it's like definitely where there's port, there's a lot of extracurricular activities. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's for sure.
So you grew up in a certain area. I mean, everybody know, I'm pretty sure by this time, you grew up in La Colonia, right?
Yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit about how that neighborhood got its name? Because I know there's different parts of the city that are named different things. You know what I'm saying? Like, Colonia, Lemonwood, Squire. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Southside and all that stuff. So can you tell me a little bit of the history on Colonia?
So Colonia, okay, so the city of Oxnard, I mean, when it was originated, Colonia was like the first regional area for our people. I mean, like for Mexicans, and well, just for the people in general. That was the first like neighborhood, the first area for people to live at in the city of Oxnard. And this goes back in the old days. I mean, and around our city was pretty much strawberry fields. And once the city started expanding, I mean, other neighborhoods started becoming up too. I mean, like, because after us there was El Rio, that's another hood, and then there's Lemonwood. I mean, and they're right by the fields too. And then I mean, all those areas around us started becoming their own little thing.
The kind of like how East LA, there's like East LA, and then there's the unincorporated part of Maravilla. Like there's Maravilla, Los Angeles, but that's because they got the courthouses over there. They got, you know what I'm saying? That's named that.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of wanted to touch base on that. Now, how does your family end up? How do you end up? How does young Scar end up in La Colonia? When does your family end up there?
My my grandma grew up in Juanita. It's a street called Juanita. I mean, cause okay, so all the streets in my hood specifically are named after U.S. presidents for some reason. Like it's Harrison, Hayes, Garfield, Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like those are the presidents, and then the projects. They're named after like the first wives, pretty much like Amelia, Bernarda Court, Carmelita, and etc. I mean, so yeah, it's a very historical old neighborhood, and my grandparents they were born and raised right there, and my mom was raised right there on Juanita. My dad, I don't know my dad, but what I know of him, because I mean I know his side of the family. Like my grandma, her name was Mercy, rest in peace. She grew up in the projects on Amelia. That's where she grew up on 112, and so that's where my dad grew up. So pretty much my mom grew up on one side of the hood, my dad grew up on one side, and then I mean they met, they went to school, whatever, and yeah, well, all that shit. And then my there's a company called Nash Radiator, and it's like right in my hood. It's a very like old historical mechanic shop. It's like a big pillar in the hood of Colonia, and that Nash Radiator, the name Nash, that's my grandma's brother. So that goes straight to my family, Nash Radiator. So
Yeah.
not only are we born and raised, but we have like connection. Like we're connected through the community as well. I mean, like with our family owned shop and shit. I mean, so
Oh no, that's crazy.
yeah,
So it runs a little bit deeper than just the name, huh?
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So what's it like for young Scar when he starts a young life before you even step outside, bro? What are the things you're seeing in your community?
Like you talking about today?
No, when you're little. When you're little.
Oh shit, fuck when I was little.
Oh, we're going back from the top, my boy. We're
shit.
running it. They need to know the story, Holmes.
Well, fuck, dog. I mean, that's the mid '90s and shit. I mean, I was a little kid, but I mean, a little kid in the '90s. I mean, you get exposed to a lot of shit. I mean, especially in my area. Like I seen some deaths and shit. I mean, I remember when I was 7, my mom had a boyfriend and he was from the hood and shit. And I mean, I used to look up to him because, like I said, I didn't really know my dad. So like any type of male like father figure, I used to kind of like obviously I would like
Yeah.
pay attention to that. But fortunately or unfortunately, they're always gang members or shit, somehow, or they were affiliated somehow. You know what I mean, and so even more, I looked up to that. You mean like the whole fucking gang shit for something? I don't know.
But I don't think what people understand is that a lot of it is community. And I think one of the things that I had to have, like I had a one-on-one with my mom because my mom's straight from Mexico.
Yeah.
So one of the things I really had to have a conversation with her, like, yeah, you might see us as this, and that, but that's been my best friend since I was 7 years old.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
these are people that I've known since school, like little kids.
yeah, no,
literally.
and even then, like how you said with the father figures and all that stuff. Even like my homeboys' dads, I didn't have a father myself. So guess who was playing ball with me? It was an older homie with the hood on his chest, playing with the shirt off and
tank top, black
yeah,
shirt,
exactly.
yeah.
So I don't think a lot of people understand the sense of community that it really brings and like how opening it is to be a homie. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
So I don't think you should ever say unfortunately. That's actually fortunately because those are the people that they say that you gotta groom kids from when they're young to be great people.
Yeah, they're the reasons why I'm able to be right here today. Though,
Exactly.
I'm able to survive certain tactics and certain situations is based off of.
And what people don't understand, a lot of it is we're victim of circumstance. It's not that we want to, but we grew up in certain places where
It's influenced by the environment.
even when we didn't want to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hell yeah.
So what's it like? It's in the mid '90s. So mid '90s, the murder rate's high. The murder rate's high in Southern California, right? When does Young Scar start coming outside?
Been outside since like I was a kid, just running around with the homies and stealing bikes and since I was
Bikes.
can't even
You've
remember.
been outside stealing bikes for you. See how you
Yeah, really,
are.
I was just out there running around, just trying to do whatever I could do every day. I mean, just get in whatever the fuck we get into, like smoking weed. I first tried weed when I was like 8 years old. I mean, like
Like that. It be like that, burritos.
like,
Was playing in your household and was playing around? Like was playing in your house and was playing outside? Like as far as music. The reason why I asked this is because you have a very particular ear for beats.
yeah.
And a lot of that I've noticed
I'm
for the
picky with that
exactly,
shit.
but a lot of that I notice is from like if you go back to to the rapper's childhood, it'd be a lot of the sounds and shit that we grew up on. You know what I'm saying? So what's getting played? Because I have a feeling I'm gonna tell you what I think, but I'm gonna ask you what's getting played inside the crib and what's getting played outside the crib. Like what's getting played with the parents, and when you go outside, what's getting played?
Okay, so inside the crib, we used to have this stereo, whatever, like the house stereo and shit, with play the CDs and the tapes and all that, and the radio. So my mom, she used to always play like on the weekends, and she's even in the car, like you know what I mean, because she was into music too. She actually like kind of got me into music.
What was she playing? Like what did she
was
listen
always playing
to?
the old school oldies, like all the oldie shit, like pretty much everything you hear on Audible. Like my mom used to play that shit, but like from the albums, the artists and shit, So it was always a mixture of oldies, old school, and then like the radio. And then on the radio was Tupac and Ice Cube, West Side Connection, Dog Pound, Mac 10.
That makes sense with your
90s, the whole 90s shit. So that's what I'm hearing on the radio, and then I'm hearing the oldies and the old school, my parents and shit. So it's all of that combined, and then even like a little bit of like classic rock and shit, like what, like all the 90s music. I mean, like I'm a fan of all type of music. It's just my personal favorite is hip hop. I mean, rap.
Yeah, no, that's
what I fuck
as they say. That's kind of your first love. That's you fell in love with that one first. So when I hear what you pick and beats, dog, I feel like old school. You grew up on a lot of funk,
Yeah, funk.
Parliament, and yeah, exactly.
Debbie Deb and 52nd Street and all that shit.
Cause you're very, I don't know if you're conscious of it, but when you pick certain beats, it be synthesizer heavy. It be with that rocking, and I'm like, oh, you grew up off of the funk. I already know, my boy. Like I grew up off of Parliament. You know what I'm saying? Flashlight, my favorite song. You know what I'm saying? Like, so. That's crazy. What's getting played in the hood? Like what's everybody listening to when you come outside? Like let's say, so you're mid 90s baby, so that maybe what 03, so in the early 2000s.
Yeah. So
what's getting paid in the early 2000s?
Around that time, it's a lot of corridos, a lot of like Spanish music. I mean, corridos and shit, which I like too. I mean, and other than that, it was like the homies were already rapping. Like, see, like the Oxnard rap scene, a lot of people don't really either know, or they don't really like talk about it. But there wasn't really too many rappers in the 90s, and the only rappers from Oxnard that were like locally known or even known like around were all from the hood. They were all from Colonia, like hands down. There was no rappers from no other hoods. I mean,
I'll tell you the people that I got introduced to Oxnard hip hop were definitely from Colonia, and it was the homie Biggie and it was the homie Lowboy.
Yeah. And then before them, it was like the homies from Eastside Click. Cause back in the days in the night, I don't know if you remember, but they used to have like the Chicano rap CDs, like the albums, like Southside Riders Volume 1, Chicano Rap Volume 1, and it was like a mixture of like
Eastside Click, yes, I do remember like Eastside Click. Yes.
Yeah, and that's the homie Enemy and the homie Scream.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And shout out to the homies, I mean, and it was their shit, I mean, and the homie Down aka Kilo, that's when he was first rapping and shit too, and then on all those albums, it was just a mixture of like Little Rob, San Diego, LA art, I mean, like, it was just like, but it was like real underground shit. I mean, like, and so like the homies were already rapping, so it's like I was already hearing like.
Oh yeah, that shit's getting bumped in the hood.
I was hearing corridos and then like hood rap. You know what I mean, so that shit just influenced me more because I've always had a passion for music, like just listening to music, and it just like it's always been a part of me. Like I mean, like it's always been a part of me. You know what I mean, like, and and like I say, like if you think about it, the '90s, Dr. Dre, he sampled a lot of the oldies and the G funk, and that's the
That's
shit my mom was bumping. So that's why it all just clicks to
it
me.
it resonates because I even see that in it's coming in the resurgence of your music, fool,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like that's hard, like
Yeah,
you
and I
know.
hope to. My goal is to like go mainstream and eventually like work with those artists and producers like Dre and all the whole legends of the West Coast. You know.
Well, dog, you definitely got our support for sure. You know what I'm saying?
Hell
You
yeah. I
already know the
appreciate that
homie
shit.
and fucking you
Yeah.
already know. Quick story: I pulled up on this fool and gave him some weed while he was dead in the middle of my enemy's neighborhood. You can't tell me I don't
Yeah.
f- with Young Scar, okay?
I'll be
You can't
outside,
tell me I
homie.
can't.
Yeah, you might spot me in the wild, dog.
You know what I'm saying? Young Scar is definitely outside. He was like, I'm over here. And I go, fuck, I think I know where you're at because he just sent me a picture, fool. And remember, I told you, I go, I think I know exactly where you're at. And then you sent me, I go, oh, fuck, fool, I got to get out of here. But here you go, perro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And right before you had one, I already had ran into.
Yeah, no, that's
already,
it. And that's why I was like, you know what? I'll be back, fool. You know what I'm saying? I'll be back, perro. But I'll come back and see here's some bud. You know what I'm saying? Oh. So with that being said, going back to 805 hip hop and how that was influenced, that's crazy that you say that because that was like a part of me because obviously you know my history. I don't really get too into it, but you know my history. So we were bumping a lot of Charlie Roll Campo. You know what I'm saying? Like shit was getting bumped in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. Shout out the homies. You know what I'm saying? Shout out everybody. Okay, so when does hip hop start becoming a part of your life? So there's because you are more musically inclined lyrically, you're more lyrically inclined than the average fucking cholo. You know what I'm saying? As they would say. So what I want to know is when does hip hop start coming into your life as far as you wanting to be a part of it? Because it's always been a part of your life, if we're being honest.
Yeah, it's been a part of my life since I was like fucking little, since I was able to hear.
Yeah. And then quick question before we get into how are you in school, big dog?
I'm good. I got my diploma. I graduated.
No, okay. So how were you in school
Oh,
though?
how was I in school?
Yeah, like did you get good? Okay, you graduated, but because you had to, because
Well, I got a gang of credits in juvenile hall. I did a
oh
year in
fool,
juvenile
you
hall and I
fucking
got mad credits,
you
so,
go to
yeah.
in juvenile hall, you go to class and fall asleep. They give you credits, perro.
Yeah, I got 15 credits.
I already know. Trust me, dog. Shout out East Lake Juvenile Hall, perro.
Shout out all the juvenile hall.
So the reason why I asked that is just because the way you speak is definitely is more gained up than the average youngster. You know what I'm saying? And it tips off to the homies who raised you. You know what I'm saying? Because I know you're very respectful and the reason why I say that is because you're the way you speak is very intellectual and you have an actual vocabulary. Yeah. I know part of it's like dealing. You already know, but part of it is actually because you're smart, perro. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
a lot of people just don't. They just think because they see the whole package, they think, oh, he probably got his education from going to prison or the feds and shit, like. But nah, I've been pretty smart since I was a little kid. You know what I mean, like.
That's why I asked. So when does hip hop start becoming a part of your life?
So it's like as far as like me wanting to actually like start like being a rapper, like I think like since I was like 8, 9, I had dreams of like one day like I'm gonna be like Snoop Dogg or I'm gonna be like fucking Dr. Dre or Ice Cube. You know what I mean, like I'm really gonna be like that. I mean, yeah, I used to just like one day I'm a rap, but I never really thought like I would actually like be in the places to do music. I mean, like I said, like the homies, they were already rapping. They had studios, and like I did go a few times like to certain hood songs that are classics. I mean, like I was really there. Like I mean, from the homie Shadow and shit. But yeah, I think like since like the early since like 11, 12, like I had a dream of like really becoming a rapper, but I never really like made it, like I never like took no action to like try to do it. I was just stuck still like listening to music and trying to be influenced, and like I was writing verses like in my head, you know what I mean, or I'll write a little something, I'll just memorize it in my head, and I'll write it to like all the like Spice One fucking songs. Like I mean, I would listen to the songs without it being the instrumental, just the actual song, and I'll just like kind of rap over it. I mean, and
how most of us get our start, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, but and then yeah, but like pretty much I think like when I got to like my teens, the homie Biggie was rapping and shit, and I used to go to his pad and shit, you know, and I was a little youngster, you know, but he was already rapping and fucking one day he was just like, hey, I think he kind of could sense like, hey, I know you could fucking like, cause he knew I was like how I was with music, you know, we used to bump and shit and chill, you know, and I think he kind of sensed like, I know you could rap, for you have something like that you could spit.
So Biggie put you in the studio, or pushed you.
Okay. As far as like rapping myself, yeah, you can say, yeah, it was Biggie.
Okay,
yeah,
shout out to Biggie from the East Side, homie.
Yeah. My first time I ever recorded like anything, it was with Biggie in his studio, in his garage.
I don't think people know how legendary that is, because that's not a little name. You know what I'm saying? Like them homies were them homies were doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? So that
putting out the most active hood shit like in the whole during that whole time. For all his little mixtapes, like all his shit was hard for him. Like, but yeah, I used to be chilling right there, and he was just like, hey, like jump on this shit. You know what I mean? And fucking, I had like I said, you know, I've always had like a little something. Like I had like a part, like a couple little bars, and I just went off of that, and I wrote the rest, and then the homie Enemy had rapped on it first from Eastside Clip, and then I went second, and fucking I spit my shit, and then the homies were like, what the fuck? Like, hey, fool, that shit's bad, fool. Like, I thought they were like gassing me. I'm like, nah, you know. And then like one of the homies that, fool, you sound like low key, you sound like the best one, fool. And then I was like, nah, you know what I mean? Like I didn't believe that shit. You know what I mean? And then but yeah, that was the first time. And then after that, like I'll be around the studio. You know what I mean? And I was already like kind of like getting a little more confident. Like, you know, I think I'm gonna start doing my shit. You know, and then pretty much as soon as like anytime the homies gave me access, I started taking. Anytime I got access on it, I started just, you know what I mean, taking the opportunity to make a record and shit. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
But yeah, it all started when.
Like, what age are you right there? What age do you get in the booth?
15. My first song, I was like 15 when I first recorded. The first one with Biggie, I was 15 years old, yeah. And then after that, I probably made like one more song when I was 16, and then I didn't make nothing till like I was like 20, 21. I didn't start like actually like recording till I was like 21.
Okay. That's when you took it serious. At 21 is when you were like, you know what, fuck it, I'm finna rap.
Yeah.
Okay. Cause there's so much to cover, big dog. You got a story and a half, Pedro.
I do.
But I definitely wanted to get that out the way, because I don't think people understand. Like when people start hearing your story, I don't want them to be like, "Oh, here's another typical cholo." I kind of want them to understand like where you come from, because it's a little bit more embedded than most people think. You know what I'm saying? So there's a couple of points I want to point out on for why they call you Scar.
They call me Scar because I got this fucking shit on my face when I was young. You know what I mean? And
okay,
it started with that, but it kind of like ended up like it's a crazy little fucking. It's like a crazy story, fool. Like
elaborate, my boy. How'd you get this shit on your face, my boy? How you get this?
I was chilling in the hood in Colonia Park during the summertime, and fucking that's when the pool. We have a little pool right there. I mean, and fucking. Sometimes it's only open during the summer and shit. And, whatever. So that shit was open, and it was a lot of activity. I mean, there was a little league and shit, baseball game going on. So there was like it was two enemy hoods teams, like little league teams, like from two enemy hoods.
Yeah, the different neighborhoods
at our park. And then we had the pool, and then just a lot of fucking people, you know. And then I was chilling with a couple little homies, and we were smoking and shit. We were in the restroom, and I seen two fools walking, but they looked like they didn't really look banged out or nothing. I mean, and mind you, like I'm real young still too. Like I'm not really like experienced yet. I'm still like going through it. You know?
Green, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And so I see them and fucking they look like homies, but they look like just regular kind of, you know. So I seen them. I was like, who the fuck is that? Like I literally said that just like that, but like whatever. And then there's like a little wall before you walk in, so you can't see over that wall. So they crept up, and they popped out, and it's just like boom, 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 bam. You know, and they got me and another homie.
Yeah, they got.
There used to be another homie that had the same scar like that. They got him first, and they got me. And then fucking, it was just a quick little thing. I just heard fools running away, and then I thought I got socked. Fool, I thought I didn't even feel it. I got socked, and then fucking out of nowhere, like I just went like that against the wall, and I turned, and like my whole shit was just leaking already. Like half of my body was already like full of blood.
Fuck.
And then I turned, and everybody was already outside of the restroom. So I went to the restroom stalls, but it's in the hood, so it's all pissy. There ain't no toilet paper and shit. So there ain't shit right there that I could fucking use. So I go back outside, and then well, there's a couple homies that they ain't homies no more because of that situation. But some fools ran away, and like little bitches, and fucking and yeah, so by the time I made it out, those fools already had ran to their car, and then the fucking game, everybody at the pool, they were just like, what the fuck, like what happened, Then you see two little fools just leaking, bleeding, and then the other homie was like kind of like, oh, they fucking did this and this and that. I was just walking around like just being quiet, like trying to like what the fuck, and then the homie had pulled up quick, like the homie, I can't say his name, but he was strapped already. He's like, hey, what the fuck happened? And I just told him, some fools caught us slipping, and they took off, and they were in this type of car, whatever, and fucking he could have probably caught up to him if he would have just flipped the bitch and went the other way, but he seen us, he just said, hey fool, get the fuck in the car. Took us to the hospital, dropped us off, and then fucking and then fool, and then that's how that shit happened.
So and then that kind of just formed into the name. Yeah,
like I was already going by like another name. I don't want to say it either.
No. Yeah.
And, but I was still active. Like I was outside, and I was still like doing my shit. And I was walking around with like a big ass white patch, like like in the 50 Cent movie.
Yeah.
When they got shot, it was the same exact shit. I was walking like that, so some hands like, oh, what the fuck, like, what happened and shit. And then the homie was like, oh, that's the homie Scar, And then when I went to the halls, the homie, rest in peace, he was right there chilling with me. And then there was another fool that used to be called Scar too. He was in the halls at the same time too. But he's like, fool, this fool's Scar. And it just like, and then that fool's like, yeah, that fool's Scar. And I just like, fuck, I kept the name. Like whatever. I'll run with that shit. And fool, just stay like that.
That's crazy. Yeah. I think it almost adds to your folklore, big dog. You know what I'm saying? Like the legend that is Big Scar, big dog.
Oh, but the other flip side of that is like, I was on a hunt for revenge too, fool. So at a very young age, fool. So I was like heavily like sickly influenced, dog. And then and I had the homies already like that were willing to
facilitate the madness.
Yes, dog. So fucking, I try to like make it pretty much like, nah, it's not because of this, it's because of, like some other shit. So there's like two meanings to it now. So
yeah. So I know that everybody, when they see you, they see that you have a tattoo on your face, and I know it has a certain special meaning. Because people might see you and be like, oh, normal tattoo face, cholo, but I don't see that.
I don't put the hood on my face.
Exactly, I don't see that.
Faces, for me personally, I kept the face for the family.
Yeah, that's what So, do you want to elaborate on your tattoo? I know you told me a little bit about it, but do you want to touch on that a little bit?
Hell yeah. I got a tattoo. It's called Nina. The name is Nina, and it's for my firstborn child. She was 3 years old and shit, but she passed away when she was 3. She was born with a health condition. That didn't have a cure. But but she's part of my journey. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I haven't been the same since that shit happened, but I'm still me. But yeah, it's something I gotta live with though. But yeah, she's a blessing though. She's my guardian angel now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What How many kids do you have?
Right now, I got 3, including her. I got her, 2 boys. I got my son Montana, and I have my other son Angelo.
Fucking amazing names, big dog. Amazing names. No, most definitely.
I try to keep it like kind of mob influence, you know.
Yeah.
You know, like, but a good way, you know. Like,
It's the little Chicago influence, perrito.
you know what I'm saying?
Oh, no, most definitely. And if it's okay with you, I would like to dedicate this episode to her, and I will definitely put up the information in the beginning of this episode, dog. Rest in peace to the baby girl, you know. With that being said, what age does this happen?
When she passed away,
You, because I know you said she was 3, but how old were you?
I was about. It's kind of blurry for you know, like when I think about that, cause it's hard. But I was in my mid-20s.
In your mid-20s?
Mid-20s, yeah.
Okay.
Like my early mid-20s, like about 20. I want to say like I was like 25.
The reason why I asked this is because I know that must have been hard for you, and I'm kind of I'm trying to gauge it on a timeline because obviously, I'm getting to certain points in your story and stuff.
Yeah.
So what I want to know is because you said it almost sent you on it made you different, right? It almost sent you on a spiral, kinda. You wanna?
Yeah, cause when it happened, I mean, like I don't wish that shit on my enemies, none of that shit.
Yeah.
Shit. And like I remember there was someone that told me like in Spanish, you know, like there's like it's so hurtful and heavy. There's not even a word for it, you know. Like when you lose your father, there's a word for it. When you lose your mom, there's a word for it. When you lose like a sibling or somebody, there's a word. But when you lose your own kid, there's not like a specific word for that shit. You know, it's too bad. You know, it's too fucked up. But yeah, that shit had fucked me up and shit, and you know what I mean? Like I had to like pretty much tap in spiritually, like with God, and like I mean I was like, well, for a while I was fucked up, like I didn't give a fuck about life, and I was just like I didn't even give a fuck about rapping and shit. I had stopped, like I felt like that's why like a lot of people don't know, like 10 years ago I was already like pretty much doing this shit, but there wasn't really social media yet.
That's where I want to get into.
Yeah, and that was my early 20s, and then like but after right after that, I got busted, and then I got out real quick, and then that like literally like weeks, like a week after I was out, that happened, and then after that, I just was like I didn't give a fuck. I was just trying to I was getting into the drugs to like numb it, but the drugs didn't do shit, so I was still wake up with the same pain, and I was like fuck, you know what I mean? I was just fucked up, and then I was just like I didn't give a fuck about shit, and then it was active too outside, so I was just like, I was doing my shit, and but I wasn't really like going outside because it was coming towards us, so I was like, I was just right here patrolling my area and like keeping it locked, but I was still like I was in a fucked up mentality, you know what I mean? But yeah, so that's what right now I'm barely like I said, like the
no
to tap back in and shit with it.
That's why I was gonna ask, because I know with GME I seen that years ago, so I started going back and seeing the stuff that was going up 200,000 views, 100,000 views.
I had
like
my own Vivo account back then.
Yeah,
Scar Vivo, you know what I mean? But all that shit got taken down when we got busted and shit.
That's what I was gonna say, because I know like the GME stuff I was seeing a while ago.
Like around 2013.
So how does GME come about?
So pretty much, rest in peace to my homie Louis. He was like the CEO at first of it, and he was my older homie. He was almost like an older father figure too. Like I knew him and shit. And one time we had got kind of close because we started chilling a lot because he lived right there in the hood and shit. And he was like deeply into music, like all the fucking like East Siders, Nate Dogg, like West Coast shit. Like he met them fool. Like there's videos on YouTube like him chilling with the East Siders and chilling with like the West Coast people and shit. So he had that ear for music too, and then like he already had seen it like with me. Like he's like, I know you're rapping, and he's like, I know like you haven't fully developed your sound, but I know what you're going for. Like I could tell, and then I just started like bumping the music I bump, and like we listened to the same shit, and he was surprised like that I knew a lot of like classic old shit. I mean, him and my manager, he's my older homie too. They grew up together, they're like around the same age, They both grew up in
Shout out to your manager.
yeah,
That's
shout
a
out to
good homie right
yeah,
there.
hell yeah, that's a real one right there. That's the next top dog. Right
That's
there,
what I'm saying. We go
yeah,
see once he's ready. We go get
yeah,
him an interview. I
yeah,
got you.
yeah. But yeah, he came up and then he was financially stable and he had a good enough money for investment. He wanted to create a authentic type of label, and he wanted to. I mean, he's making this label like a stamp in the music industry. Like it's not just for us, like it's us. It started with us, but it's gonna be a label, like
Yeah.
you know what I mean. And but he wanted to start it with. I mean, he just wanted to look out and be like, look, I know there's talent in the hood. And whatever the realest homies that are like really come from this shit and that really have talent, he's like fucking try to find them fools, dog, and Louis knew me. So he's like, fool, I know the homie Scar, fool, like this fool's the one, fool, and he knows all these motherfuckers, I mean. So he fucking hit me up. Well, he had a little homie hit me up and fucking the homie hit me up. I thought it was some other shit, like, hey fool, the homie wants to talk to you, and then I was like, well, like, like, hey fool, like he didn't tell me too much at the time,
Fucking hate those calls.
Yeah, and I called him back like, hey fool, like what's up, fool, like fucking like what's cracking for him, like, cause I was already like I was gonna get strapped, like, he didn't tell me what homie he is.
Yeah.
He's like, nah, homie, the homie Lou, and I'm like, oh fool, you should have just told me, like, well, what's up, fool, and I just come pick me up. He picked me up and he took me to him and fucking we were right there chilling and shit with my manager in the car and shit. He was just lacing me up their whole idea, their whole thing, and it aligned with what I already had
With your path.
Yeah, so it's just like it was pretty much like, in other words, like it was meant to be, dog. And they pretty much told me like, look, dog, like we have this investment, we have this connection. In 2 weeks, if you're down, you'll be recording in like pretty much a multi-million-dollar studio with a real producer, and you can start really recording records for, and we'll have a contract, and fucking you can start doing your own shit. And I was just like, hell yeah! I mean, the whole point, the whole thing is like, we wanna have something to leave behind, and to to gain off of it. Obviously, to make money off of it. Like that's the whole point. I mean,
Yeah.
even though it's a passion, like yes, like the business part is we want to financially make money,
Yeah, no, and the one thing I can tell about is that you guys are definitely more business inclined than the average dudes trying to be out there right now. So
we really like try to promote it like this is strictly business.
Yeah, exactly. No, I definitely respect that, dog. That's amazing right there. That's going back to that sense of community. Remember what I was telling you, just wanting to do good for your people. Yeah. So then you start gaining some traction. Mm-hmm. Does it come quick when you start dropping, or is it still?
Yeah. Well, I want to say like fuck from the moment it's kind of crazy. Like we started like literally like in January, so like by like April, I was already like with a couple producers, and I was already getting a feature with Cocaine. And he's a West Coast legend. Like he got songs with Tupac, Eazy-E, fucking Game, Nipsey, like everybody, So it's like I already knew what's up with him, So it's like I bump all that shit. So it's like I looked at it like, damn, like he had songs with Nipsey, fucking The Game, dudes by Dr. Dre, fucking Snoop Dogg, all these fools. And now I could say I got a song with him too. Like I'm in that category now. So I was like, hell yeah, like I mean, like let's do that shit, So we started creating some shit, and then we shot a video and everything, and then But before that, like the whole like when they laced me up about everything, they were asking about other artists. So I was like, yeah, like I have other homies, fool, like that, like they're real ones. They're just like me, and they rap too. Like there's a few of them, you know what I mean? And it was the homie Feeks, the homie Lil Mo, and my homie, rest in peace, Lil Sleepy. Well, he Sleepy didn't really rap, but he was just influenced by us. I mean, like when we like he was my little brother. So he just comes wherever we're at, he's there too, So he started doing all his shit, like just freestyle. Like all his shit is all pure freestyles. Like, and he used to get off too. So so when the homies, like when my manager, he seen us all, like he was like, hell yeah, like this would be a good fucking start. You know what I mean? Like these would be the perfect people to start the label off with, And the goal was like, okay, we'll create a project to get the label known, and it's a album for the label with all the artists.
Yeah.
And then after that, each artist is gonna get his own personal solo.
Yeah.
But yeah, the album came out and shit. We did all the work, everything. You know, we shot the videos, we did everything, and we were promoting it. We were out there. We had made merch and shit. And a lot of people were already wearing the merch, and then we hadn't even put out the music yet. They just knew us from our own little shit. I mean, our own little hood songs and shit. And
It's like you gonna see the star hats you finna see.
So you know, it was just all lining up, like it was just already coming together, you know. So everybody was already wearing the hats and shit, and yeah, and fucking I ended up getting busted. Well, I was out on 8 bails.
That's what I was about to say. Because at this time, I mean, you know, obviously you're not doing any of that anymore. Because you know we're trying to get off papers and all that good stuff.
I'm straight business.
But I know you were into the extracurriculars, and the only reason why I want to say that is because you've been persecuted for it, so we can't go back and you know what I'm saying to get that. So. The reason why I bring up GME before is because you were making some noise and then it kind of stopped. But then we had a conversation and you're like, oh, yeah, I was with your homie so-and-so. And then we got into it. So then I started looking into it. And I was wondering because I know there was a few federal indictments that came across your neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I was wondering which one exactly, because I know it was a part of, from our brief conversation on it, I know that you got caught up on one of the indictments. And again, please don't say any names or anything else like that. But can you tell us a little bit about the feds coming and saying, hey, we need to talk to you, Parrito?
Fuck that, yeah. But I got my own indictment, like they gave me my own. And yeah, they had did that, but before they did that to me, they already had did 3 hood indictments.
That's why I was like, yeah. What did you were you suspect where they were like trying to get you on those?
I wasn't even a part of that shit. Like I knew all the homies.
Yeah,
no. I was around the homies. But
or did they even try to say that you were no?
Nah, because I had just gotten out from upstate.
Okay.
And, when they did the first one, it was in 2010. I had like just gotten out like after that. And then
we're not gonna get too much into your jail history because indicted interview may be coming soon.
Yeah. And then during that time, there were some homies and shit, whatever. I ain't say names, but I mean, obviously, I'm with
with your homeboys, yeah.
Yeah, so whatever, and then they got popped, and that was the Operation Supernova that they called it for the feds, and because our hood is like the cowboy star and shit, so Operation Supernova,
the star
blowing up. I mean, like. It was kind of like a little diss on hood, you know, whatever, but like a little sneak diss and shit from the feds, but fucking yeah. So they did all that, and then whatever. I was just happy. I was outside doing my own shit, and the feds kind of started watching me and shit, and they busted me for my own indictment, and it was for guns and drugs and shit. But yeah.
I got a few questions just because I'm real close to certain people, and their neighborhoods got RICO'd and such.
Mm-hmm.
Was there ever any like, hey, some like my spidey sensors are going off? You know what I'm saying? Like there's something in the water. Like I could feel it.
Hell yeah, fool. Like because like in the hood, like if you come from the hood, like and you're there every day, like you know what cars, like especially like on the blocks you're at, you're like you know pretty much like who's who.
Who lives like that's the Doña's car over there. Yeah.
And fucking like at the park, they were like pretty much at the park, like it's the park, but like it's pretty much just raza right there for you. Like there's not really white people. I started seeing like some white people trying to play golf. I've never seen that. there's not even no fucking golf holes for his soccer fucking field. Like what the fuck? And I see that and I told the homies like, hey, so do you guys see that? And they were like, what the fuck? Like that shit look weird. Like it didn't
something's
look right.
off here. Eh?
2 white boys with glasses and golf suits, and they're literally like
putting
with each other. Like what the fuck? Like that shit doesn't happen, dog. And then that was one, and then another one. It was a nighttime and shit, and I was walking with the homie. We were in the projects, and fucking It was like almost like across the street from his house, but we were on the other side, so it didn't even look like we were walking to his house. It looked like we were going to the projects and shit.
Yeah.
And there was an all black car, and fucking like cause we had kind of popped out the cuts like kind of like quick, you know. So
Yeah.
the car was just parked right there, and there was some white dude right there, and he looked like a straight cop. And out of nowhere, he started acting like he was asleep. And it was an all black car tinted up, you know. But I seen him, and I told him, I'm like, fool, look at that's a fucking undercover fool. Like he's literally parked like right by your pad, fool. You know what I mean? And we walked up, and he was like playing the part like he's asleep, and I started knocking on the window, boom, 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 and he was trying to act like he was asleep. So I'm like, boom, I'm like, hey, like, what are you doing right here, you know? And he just looked and I go, hey, somebody, this is somebody's parking, like, you know what I mean, like the people that live here, this is their parking, can park right here, you know what I mean, like. And he was just like, I mean, he fucking, and I took off. I'm like, fool, that was a fucking undercover, fool, like. But the homie was like, nah, it was, you know what I mean, and then I had got busted in the county, and they had tried to like, I mean, they tried to like, they pulled me out and like they tried to add they were gonna add charges and shit, you know, but it was some other shit. But they're pretty much it was the cops. They put like, all right, so in the county they have this little padded room, right? So I got busted. And fucking, they called me out, boom, boom, boom. And I thought it was like for like medical, whatever the fuck, you know.
And you were busting on something else in the county.
I got busted real quick. Like,
okay.
I got busted real quick.
A quick county shot.
Yeah. And during that little shot, when I was already busted, they fucking came and they called me out. So when I went to the room, it was a detective and it was a federal agent. And they were like, hey, fucking... you know,
we need to talk to you, Holmes.
Yeah, like, what's up, you know? And I was like real tired, and I'm just like, you know, like, what the fuck, you know? And I mean, this is on my rest in peace daughter. Everything I'm saying is 100% true, you know what I mean? And fucking, they were like, well, you know, like, what's up, you know? And like, I go, I don't know what the fuck you got talking about. Well, your name has, you know, holds weight, and I go, I don't have no name, no nothing. Like, I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about. And they're like, well, you know, like. They were just saying some shit like it's kind of hard to raise your. They said one thing like it's kind of hard to raise your because my baby mom was pregnant with my son Montana at the time, and they're like, it's kind of hard to raise your kid over the phone for 10 years. That's what they said, and I was just like, what are you guys talking about, you know? And then that was it. Boom, and fucking they let me go back because I wasn't telling them shit. You know what I mean? So fucking I got out and then fucking. Little did I know, during the time when I was running around like a month later, I had a federal warrant. I didn't know I had a federal warrant. So fucking, I was in the hood and then fucking I went to the store and then fucking they pulled up on me and they got me in the projects. I was leaving with some pad in the projects going to across the street to the liquor store and they got me walking out the store. Sick. And then from that point they took me to MDC.
No, yeah, and then you want to go function.
That's when I found out everything. Oh, okay, now I know why I'm here.
You're like, oh!
Yeah, because they didn't take me to the county, so I'm like, what the fuck? Like, where we going? I mean, we're on the freeway and shit, you know? I'm like, oh, shit. That kind of was like, I mean, you know, I started kind of like, what the fuck is just two fucking agents? I'm in a van. And it's just like, I mean, they were like regular clothes, you know. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, we're in LA already. I mean, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like this, we're a long way from Kansas.
Yeah, and then they started pulling. I seen the building. I'm like, oh, okay, I know where the fuck I'm at, cause I already knew, like, I mean, the federal indictment and the homies that be in the feds and shit, you know. So I already had a sense, you know. So once I was like, okay, I know where I'm at. And then they took me to the little underground thing, boom, boom, and I went to booking and shit, and then and I had to go to court that same day too. So
no, the feds arraigned you that same way.
So boom, in that building, I was like, oh, what the fuck? I mean, what the fuck?
No, once the feds come, they're like, no, yeah, you're gonna be here for a little bit, just a little bit. So with that being said, the feds come and they sentence you, correct? Mm-hmm. So before I have one more question before we go into the Fed stuff. You went upstate previously because you told me.
I've been upstate a few times too.
A few times? Yeah. Fuck, a few times?
I have 2 numbers.
Yeah. Okay. So you went to the state twice, and then the feds came on knocking. Mm-hmm. And then what did the feds sentence you to?
They gave me about 40 months. About 40 months, and it was during like the whole COVID shit. So like I got busted in 2019, And then during like I was the whole time I was in the feds, COVID shit started, so we were on lockdown and shit. Like that whole fucking like we didn't even have like a program and shit. Like, they had to like figure out like how we're gonna
Yeah, they were still figuring
they
out
had to
the.
build a program based off of the fucking pandemic. So we were slammed down for a long ass time too. The only time we would come out was like just for shower days, like boom, just boom, let's go out shower and that's it, boom. And yeah, that was it.
That's
Oh, and
no.
then the whole point reason why I say that is because they closed the court. They closed the courthouses down.
Oh, so you couldn't even go
So I couldn't even go to court.
for
So
a
every
while.
time
You
I
was,
had a court date, I would just get a letter. Boom, oh, they're gonna move it again till whatever day. I'm like, whatever.
so you were just stuck in limbo. That's
Yeah,
fucked up.
yeah.
My question to you is, what are you thinking while you're up in there? Are you plotting your return? Because
Nah, nah.
you came home with a fucking fire under your ass, perrito. As far as this music's concerned,
Yeah, because like by the time I got to the feds, I was like I realized everything. Like I'm not stupid, you know what I mean? And it's like okay, like either I'm gonna like live the rest of my life like being a gang like not necessarily being a gamer but like what people cause I don't know like in society like what I do like who I am I feel like I'm just me like I'm normal dog, you know, but to people like they look at me like I'm fucking like some menace or I'm like I'm like I don't know like I guess I'm a bad person or whatever the fuck it is, you know, but you know, it's just I've been through a lot of shit, you know what I mean? And it's just that's what fucking made me and that's why I think the way I think, I move the way I move and that's why I'm who I am, you know what I mean? But you know what I mean? Like you know, like I said like and I say like cause they look at me like I'm like trying to like always like run amok and I'm not, dog. I'm just living I'm just being me and shit, you know, and obviously, you know what I mean, like being outside, you know, I gotta stay heated, you know what I mean? Cause if not, then I mean, you know what's up, you know, so
yeah.
that's just what it is. So they're always busting me for fucking straps, you know, and like then they start trying to watch me, like, okay, well what the fuck did this fool be doing? You know what I mean? And yeah, you know, all that shit. And fucking so yeah, so when I went to the feds, I was like, it's either gonna be all that or do I have a that rap shit? You know, do I still got that rap? Cause even in the feds, like fools, you know, like they would recognize like, hey, fool, you be rapping, and you're that fool, you on Scar and shit. I'm like, yeah, yeah. And then I've seen a couple homies like, oh yeah, for the neighbors, they know about your music and shit. And then I was in one of the floors where you could talk to the girls and shit. So that fool he had his lady over there. So he had told her like, hey, I'm right here next with that fool, young Scar. So she's like, oh shit, like what the fuck? And then she was like, I mean, she's telling everybody over and shit. And then,
Let me find out you had a toilet relationship. Let me find out you had a toilet relationship, homie. Talking about the homie, my homie we were talking about that had like three or four of them.
Yeah, I forgot for sure. I That's just crazy. Nah, but yeah, so yeah, but when I was there, I mean, like I just took it like an experience. I mean, and like I met a lot of good people there too. Like I always meet a lot of good people. Like I know a lot of people. Fool, like all the times, like when I'm out, like even just when I'm out of town, when I'm outside, I always run into people. That's a good thing and a bad thing because like I mean, sometimes I don't know who I'm gonna run into or whatever the fuck. But I mean, it's just something I accepted or it's part of life. And but you know, fortunately, I've run into a lot of good people and shit. And even like when I'm always in LA, like I see people that recognize me, and even like homies I've been busted with and shit, and that I know, you know. So I mean, and I like you said, you know, I keep it respectful. I know how to conduct myself and shit. And but yeah, you know, so you know, I took it as an experience, and I met big homies and other homies and shit, and I had good conversations that would keep me around and shit, you know, like specifically keep me around, and I would try to soak up game too, you know. I always keep my ear open and just try to like hear what they're telling me, you know, and they like one of them told me like it's an experience, you know, just look at it all as an experience, you know, and he told me his little fucking experience, and I was like, God damn, you know, like that's a trip, you know. And he's like, yeah, ever since then, he told me when he got busted, he just looked at the experience, and I mean, his journey was different though, but so I was just like, all right, so I kind of did the same thing, and but I just kept like I always try to like read books and fucking get some type of knowledge and some type of wisdom and apply it to my everyday life, you know?
I think that speaks to a testament of your character, dog, because obviously when we're young and coming where we come from, we have certain scars. No pun intended.
Yeah, nah, that's the whole point.
We
Like,
have certain
my
scars.
name is a meaning like in every way.
We have
My-
certain
my-
scars that certain people can't see. It's a it's a Kid Cudi song back in the day, one of my favorites, called "The Soundtrack to My Life." Oh yeah, smoke break, pass that.
She told me life being gamble, so you stack them chips off the rip. Please let me talk my shit. Going through your money dance, I do mine like this. You should always show love, but never love that bitch. They told me life being gamble, so you stack them chips off the rip.
So what I think people don't understand is that a lot of times we have like these emotional scars that we don't talk about. No pun intended, huh? Fucking. So what you're talking about, the homie that's giving you game, right?
Yeah.
What is he telling you that's making you change your mind from saying, you know what, I don't want this anymore. I don't want this for myself anymore. Because I know you don't want it for the people around you, because obviously when we go away, we affect the people around us. So I'm pretty sure that's who you didn't want it for first, right? You didn't want it for your moms. You didn't want it for your kids. You didn't want that, you know? But when did you not want that for you anymore, as far as keep going back to the same thing? When do you say, you know what, this rap shit has to work?
Cause I mean, I was meeting individuals and shit, right? And like a lot of them were fighting time, dog. I mean, and a lot of them were, even some of them already have been down for like decades. I mean, and cause some of them had indictments, right? But they had came from the states, like from a state prison.
Yeah.
They had and whatever. Now they're in the feds. And some of them dudes, like they were down for a minute too. You know what I mean? Like just regular cats. You mean that I know, regular homies and shit. And like they had said it too. That like, damn dog, if I had a second chance on me, like I'll fucking take advantage of that shit, dog. Like, cause the feds don't play, fool. Like when they get you, they already when they come and get you, dog, they got you already. You know what I mean, pretty much, you know. And I was like, you know, that's just true, dog. You know, and then like my cellies, I mean, like all my cellies I had, like. They were like, hey, fool, you rapping shit? I'm like, yeah, you know, like, you know what I mean? They're all like, hey, fool, me, spit that shit. And I was just like, nah, like, I mean, I'm just like, whatever with it. And I'll spit it, boom, like, all my shit. And fucking they be like, damn, fool, like, you're fucking bad, fool, like, serio, fool, you know? And one of my cellies, he was a paisa, you know what I mean? But he was from Compton, I mean, and well, he claimed the Paragons, but he was from Compton.
Yeah.
But he said he knew YG and shit, and you know, he knew YG and his homies and shit, this and that. They fool like if you tap on me when I get out, fool, I could probably get you. You know what I mean? But you know, a lot of fool say shit, you know. But I was just like, yeah, you know what I mean. But he was feeling my shit though, you know. And then he had showed the other homie Cycle from Watch. He's like, hey, fool, listen to this fool. And I started spitting my shit, and I even spit it to Cloud, to the homie Cloudy and shit. To all the homies that were in the feds and shit, even the big homies, you mean, they liked it. They're like, hey, fool, your shit hard, I mean, and they're like, hey, fool, like, you gonna fucking get on me, be rapping and shit? And I just started saying, like, yeah, you know, but then I was like, I told myself, like, boy, am I? And then I was like, nah, you know, like, yeah, I think I am, dog, you know, like, I think I'm gonna take advantage of this.
Can
shit,
I
you know?
stop you and say, I love your how you are so self-aware, because you were like, no, I'm a rap, and you notice yourself saying that and being like, hey, but like, am I gonna rap?
Yeah, because like at the end of the day, I'm like, I know what the fuck I'm saying, you know, and it's like, am I really gonna do that though, you know?
And that is also a testament of how a man should be, dog. And that goes back to whoever raised you did a good job, perrito.
Appreciate that.
You know what I'm saying? No, dog. So you was up in there up on the wall banging on the door or what?
I'll just be in the like I'll go to the homie cell because we a lot of homies like in the feds. We all like there'll be a gang of homies chilling in one cell, like whatever homie, you know.
Yeah.
So like when we be chilling and shit, and I'll just be like spitting it like acapella, you know. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes I'll just be like, I mean, like boom, like that, but yeah, that fools like that shit though, you know. And then not only but the main thing that kind of got me like to be more positive was like. My baby mama was pregnant, and I knew I had a son coming, and you know I didn't have a dad, you know, and And then, you know what I mean? Like, I'm having another chance to be a father, you know, like to have the feeling of being a father again, you know what I mean? And I felt like my rest in peace daughter had something to do with that, you know what I mean? Like, you know? So I wanted to, like, I mean, set a good example and, like, you know, at least, like, show him, you know what I mean, that you know what I mean, like, I'm gonna be there for him and I'm gonna raise him and I'm gonna even get a job and so he could see, you know what I mean, like, you know, like what a dad should be, you know, like someone that, you know, he's legit, he works and he provides for his family, you know. And so yeah, so when I got out, you know what I mean, like I fucking, you know what I mean, I had humble beginnings, dog. I mean, I had to start from the bottom again, so I mean, I had my own little spot and fucking, I just started working. I had doing different jobs, construction jobs, and then you know, I mean, my mind, I'm always creating. So yeah, and I still had shit that I was writing, I was creating and shit, but I wasn't really like, I wasn't really like really like making the decision to take action yet
Yeah.
until, you know what I mean.
You were getting yourself right. No,
Yeah,
that makes
I had
sense.
to get on my feet first. I mean, like I can't just get out and be like, yeah, you know, because
Yeah.
there's the dreams and then there's reality too, you know.
Like they say, you can't be out there with without a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out of.
So yeah, so once I got right, you know what I mean, and you know what I mean, my manager, he's 100% loyal. He already knew what time it was. He's like, I know once, you know what I mean, once we're all right, we're gonna do it again. You know what I mean, and that's where we're at today. I mean, we're
So my question to
minor
you,
setbacks. What is it?
minor setbacks to major comebacks.
Dog, you know what I mean?
So, first of all, that's beautiful, and I think people should be more like homies. Like I know some of us may not. Some of the gentlemen out there may not be the best role models for their kids. You know what I'm saying? So they want to stay away. You know what I'm saying? And that tends to happen. But I think people should take a little bit more heed to what you just said and say, I want to be a role model. Because you made that decision for your kids and yourself, big dog. And that's like, if I could tell you, dog, my hat's off to you for that, homie. Like, regardless of all the other stuff, like, yeah, it's cool. We talk about it, the folklore, the views, the clicks, you know what I'm saying? But that's the stuff that I'm here for. You know what I mean?
That's like what I'll say that too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you have kids, you know what I mean, like, take advantage of seeing them. Like, you know, whatever the situation, you know, sometimes, I mean, your baby mama might make it hard for you or whatever there might be some type of situation going on in life that makes it hard, but just always take advantage to see your kids, because God forbid, like, you don't know what could happen, dog. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? So just always keep that in mind and take advantage of that shit, because, you know what I mean? Like, tomorrow's not promised for nobody, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you know what I mean?
That's dog, bro. My hat's off to you. Your character precedes your person. You know what I'm saying? And dog, that bro, I'm in your corner, fool. I think you already got that. You know what I'm saying? So. And so, like, with that being said, you come out of the feds, you get yourself right, and then you got a fire under your ass, perrito.
Yeah.
So I see. The way I'm introduced to you is we're doing music reviews. I bring this up to ask you this question. So we're seeing the music reviews, and you just you drop one where it's the dark one with that real bass heavy
It's a
beat.
product of the gutter freestyle.
Yeah,
Check that out.
exactly. Make sure you check
on
that
all
out.
platforms already.
I done fucked every hood rat bitch that been up in the hood. Young Scar, quotable. Okay. So me too, by the way. But that's another conversation for a different day, perrito. So, dog, what's happening? How do you get there? Because then after that, you just been throwing hood bang. You just been hood banger after hood banger. The one that we just did, where with all the homies in the hood, fool, that shit made me want to gang bang. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I dropped that one, then I dropped Authentic, the song called Authentic. It's on YouTube too. And then after that, I dropped Just Another Day.
It was yeah. So what? How do we get to the product of the Gutter freestyle?
So like when I got out, I started like trying to hit up my old producer, Trap House, you know, for like my unfinished music that I already had, like all my music I was trying to get a hold of. And then I got a hold of my manager, and you know what I mean, we started saying like, okay, like let's get all this going again. I mean, we gotta get you know what I mean, Destructive Films. He's gonna do the videos, and you know what I mean, the people that we have. I mean,
Shout out Destructive Dog. He's
yeah,
been
hey, shout out to Destructive Films for sure.
He's been it's been setting your product
Hey, you wanna know
aside
what
from a
crazy-
lot
you
of
wanna know
different
what crazy
things.
thing about him?
It was good.
My first video like a decade ago that I did with cocaine. He was there, right? And he never made videos. Nothing
This
like
was
that.
prior to him
Yeah.
being destructive.
Yeah,
Films,
he
at
had
least.
never made a video, none of that. And like he had rapped and shit, you know
Mhm.
what I mean? But he wasn't Destructive Films yet.
Yeah.
He was right there, and like he had told me like, hey fool, like that shit made me like low key want to start getting into that type of shit. And
Trip out.
that fool went a long way. He's doing everybody's shit now. You know what I mean, like
No, and honestly, the quality of product that's been coming out of has been setting you aside from a lot of different people, bro, because that literally makes the difference. And everything that you've been like bringing around, like it's been coming together. How do you get the product of the gutter freestyle? Where do you pick the beat? How do you say that this is? How does the song get made? And then how do you say, you know what, this is the one we're starting off with. This is the one that we're gonna punch people in the face with.
so like pretty much like the homie. My producer, my old producer, we used to make beats and shit. Like, well, he would make the beats, but like right there in front of him, like just creating shit. And he had created that beat. And then so when I was trying to get all my music back, he was sending me some of the unfinished music, and he was sending me the beats too. So when I heard that one, I was like, oh yeah, like I kind of remembered it. It wasn't that old. It was probably like a year old. I mean, but So yeah, I was getting the other ones, but that was like one of the first like few beats that he had sent me back, you know. So when I got that one, I was like, you know what, like, fuck it, I'm gonna just do this one, and I just it was pretty much I kind of freestyled it, but I started like writing the end of it.
Yeah.
The whole beat, like the first half, I freestyled it pretty much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The second half, I wrote it real quick, and then boom, I finished it. And yeah, I did it with the homie Milesburg, my other, he's my engineer. And yeah, we started. That's when we just started. I mean, we just like, you know, we're gonna start from this one, and then we were getting more beats from Hood Hitter, and then shout out to Hood Hitter too as well.
Oh no, Hood Hit has been definitely a name that's been around here. You know what I'm saying? For sure.
Hood Hitter be coming with them fire ass beats and shit. And so I bought a few batches from him. And then so I just started like, I mean, trying to just put the pieces to the puzzle. Like, look, this is the plan. This is what I'm trying to do. I want to build a brand, and I want to base it off of the label. You know what I mean, Go to Money Entertainment, and my name. You know what I mean, I want to make this a household name. I want to cross over to go mainstream eventually, and whatever it is that I need to do, that's what we're gonna get. So I mean, we needed producers. We started reaching out. Hood Hitter was one of them. He reached back, and then just, you know, whoever, like, pretty much like we fucking with whoever's fucking with us. I mean, like, and we fuck with everybody though. I mean, not that we discriminate and shit. Like, I mean, we're business people. I mean, and we're trying to build a brand, and you know what I mean. So yeah, I mean, and the Destructive Films was fucking with us. So it's like, all right, so we got the dude to do the videos. We got the producer, who's gonna record us, who's the engineer. I mean, and I reached out to the homie Mosberg and he used to record for the homie Biggie and shit, you know, he was born and raised in the hood too, you know, so it was just, everything was just authentic, like it's just all coming like strictly from our little cloth, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what I wanted to do. Like, I want to start it from my little personal community and just expand, you know what I mean? And yeah.
I think going back to this, bro, I think I'm gonna call your episode a sense of community, big dog. Because I think that it comes back to like what really raised you.
Hey, let me shout out to the Eastside Little League in my community. I'm the vice president right now too. I just became the vice president.
Oh, the vice president, Scar Spencer. You know
Hey,
what I'm saying?
Hey, but shout out to the East
Shout
Side
out to the
Little
East Side
League.
Little League for sure, dog. What have you been doing in the community lately other than that?
I've been coaching and shit, and we be having fundraisers and stuff, you know. But I tapped in with the Little League. I started coaching, and because I put my son.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Are the boys
Yeah,
playing?
because in the hood, like a lot of the homies, like the Little League's been there since the '50s. I mean, so a lot of homies like grew up playing baseball. Like if you really from the hood, you probably used to play baseball. I mean, and not everybody did, but that's a very important thing in the community. And so my son, I put my son in, and I just started coaching, and like I mean, I just seen the way it was, and like I really like wanted to be involved, you know, like I'm saying, like I'm really trying to build a brand, and I'm trying to like really like be something for the community as well, you know, like not in a negative way.
Dog, honestly, like I don't even see that. That's just being a great father, bro.
Yeah.
What kid doesn't want their dad coaching them on the team, bro? Like honestly, like that's beautiful, dog. That's
You already got 2 trophies already.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? But that's great. So you've been dropping new music and all this Thank you for bringing mixtapes, though. We definitely gonna pass these out to the homies. I'm gonna keep one. I'm gonna have you sign one, fool. So when you blow, I'm gonna sell it on eBay, pero. All right. So I'm gonna have you sign one for me, porfa. Shout out to the homies. Shout out to the homies in the back, Spencer. Fucking so you got this. What's going on? Like, what are your plans here in the near future?
Pretty much like honestly, like my plans right now is just like I'm really trying to build this brand, and I'm trying to cross over to mainstream, dog. I'm trying to.
What can we expect? Like, what are you working on? Like, what music? What's going on? Can we expect anything?
So I mean, right now I'm dropping some singles. Right now, I got my next video coming out with Hazard.
Yeah, shout out my brother.
And so we're gonna be dropping that, and then after that, I'm gonna probably start working on a project. I mean, and I eventually want to create my album called Product of the Gutter.
Yeah.
So that song Product of the Gutter is gonna be my intro to that.
Oh, that's already a great start right there. And if you guys haven't checked it out, check out Product of the Gutter. That some of the most gutterous music. And if you know me, if you've been following with our lives and such, I'm a fan of just authentic Southern California gutter music, street music from the gutters. Because I understand, like I'm fascinated. We're all kind of fascinated by it. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like I already found like my own lane already. Like I heard you and Eyekon say it last time. Like he was like he's kind of like a street hop, you know what I mean? Like
bro.
hip-hop. And I'm like that's exactly what the fuck I am.
I'm gonna be honest. You set aside from a lot of different people, dog, and that's probably one of the reasons why I said, hey, you need to come up here for an interview. You got a unique voice. You got an amazing flow, a great work ethic. You got a great team behind you. Shout out to the homies. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to the GME.
Yeah, shout out to the GME homies. You know what I'm saying?
Got him on the ENT, baby.
Yeah, no, you have a great set of homies behind you, dog. And honestly, if you just keep the foot on the neck, I'm rooting for you. You know what I'm saying? And anything, I might be contributing some production to your Product of the Gutter fucking tape. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about nothing. There's one thing that I always ask, right? Before I leave. So Scar now, what advice are you giving to young Scar?
Just keep your faith. I mean, whatever obstacles get in your way, just keep pushing and get past those obstacles and don't give up. I mean, don't quit. And just understand. If it does get hard, just understand that. You're gonna get that. You're gonna get to that finish line. And you're gonna get that goal that you want.
What advice would you give older Scar?
To the older Scar,
so
keep investing and keep stacking that money.
Be better with your finances. Yeah. Hey, dog, can I tell you all the homies that have good heads on their shoulders? I had a couple homies in here already, and they've always said my biggest advice to my older self is please be better with money. Please invest wisely. Please, this, as far as financial, dog, and again, that speaks to a testament to your character. Well, check this out, homie. I really appreciate you coming down. Thank you for coming. You already know whatever you need. Obviously, you already know you can call on me whenever, dog. Before you leave here, I got some stuff for you. Remember, I was telling you. So this has been another episode of the Kicking It with Dodger podcast. Make sure you follow my sponsors, Balls to the Walls Genetics, Super Freak Honey, all the sponsors that are on the Eyekon TV channel, Cookies, Royalty Honey, all that good stuff.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out the bros. Shout out the bros. Make sure you follow the homie. You want to go ahead and shout out who you need to shout out. Make sure you get everybody, all your ads and everything that you need followed.
So shout out to the GME team. It's Young Scar. Check me out on all platforms, on Apple Music. Check me out on YouTube on the Gutter Money ENT. And just stay tuned for what I got dropping next.
Nah, there's definitely more in store. Thank you for watching. We out.